Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Love of Brads, and I'm here to talk about my dumb, stupid, and ugly state of Ohio and why it sucks. So recently, they just passed the Ohio House Bill 249, which is to enact the Indecent Exposure Modernization Act. I'm gonna have a link to the actual bill in the comments, and then I'm reading this on a Yahoo site. So if I do get a couple things wrong, let me know. But I also did screenshot a few things on my phone, so I'm going to pull it up while I talk here. But overall, what it's doing is trying to ban drag performances, I guess. So it says it does not want performers or entertainers to exhibit a gender identity that is different from the performers or entertainers' biological sex using clothing, makeup, prosthetic or imitation genitals or breasts, or other physical markers. Basically, they want to ban drag, and that's stupid. That purposely is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. In fact, I think it infringes on our 14th Amendment, which is no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens in the United States. That's a privilege. That's an immunity. It's a privilege that we get to wear what we want and do what we want. That's, freedom of expression. Another thing we have in the US, but no, that doesn't matter anymore. And this, I'm reading the Yahoo article. I'll put in the links as well. Of course, if any of this is wrong, I'm sorry. The bill would amend the state's indecent exposure law to ban any instance of adult cabaret performance. What does that mean? You might say. You might be like, well, then that doesn't mean all drag is not all for adults. Well, no, because they feel that it is all for adults and they think we're showing our children something that's just so terrible and evil. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It also seems to put some stuff in there for trans women. Just another great thing. I mean, I already hated my state for a lot of things. I mean, we stopped, I think, minors from getting any sort of care, I guess. Like, they can't get hormones, and I feel it's pretty dumb if the parent says they can and you're like 16, then you should be allowed to eat some hormones if you want. But, whatever. So, again, like I said, it's performers who exhibit qualities of the opposite sex, right? So, this would also be for, I guess, if a woman dressed as a man. It stops a lot of stuff with drag and things like that, which is just dumb. It's just a way to target the LGBTQ plus community, which is already a minority. So you're just targeting minorities. It's just a wonderful thing they're doing. It can have a couple ranges of things. It could be a minor offense, which is a first degree misdemeanor. So you can get a jail sentence up to 180 days, or to a felony of the fourth or fifth degree, which could result in jail sentence up to 18 months. So you can get a felony for wearing women's clothing, I guess, as a man, or you know, probably also applies to like trans women in a way too. It's not just drag performances. So this is just a way to target trans people and like gay people in the LGBTQ just as a whole. Really, so fun, really cool. They say it's to protect children from harmful and obscene adult performances and reinforce privacy in private spaces such as restrooms and locker rooms. This is in result to, I guess there was a trans woman who she got found not guilty of indecent exposure because she was using a YMCA women's changing room. Cool. I feel like it's a women's changing room. She was a woman using it. I don't know, man. So obviously she was found not guilty. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was changing. Cool, I guess. Anyway, this is why they're adding this in. So if you're a trans woman and you expose yourself in a changing room, it's now, I'm guessing, illegal because you have body parts that aren't biologically yours and it's not in a private adult only residence. Overall, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Obviously, I don't agree with any of it, if you can tell from the video. And I'm getting really mad at the amount of stupid laws we're putting in place that infringe on the people's rights. We are just, in general, hurting our freedom of expression and speech and everything. But, because it's affecting the LGBTQ community, a bunch of Republican right wingers don't care. And so it just doesn't matter to them. It makes me mad. And then we have, a representative, Josh Williams, in the 2023 lawsuit for this trans woman. He kept calling them all perverts. And as long as I'm alive, I'm going to prevent perverts from exposing kids to obscene material. I guess he got what he wanted because for some reason they believe being trans or wearing drag is obscene material that you should never show a kid because I don't know. You want to dress differently? It's stupid. It's dumb. None of it makes any sense. They're attacking a minority because they don't like the minority, and that's the only reason this law is enacted. It is not for any other reason. There's no good reason for it. There's no like thing that it helps at all. It's just we don't like this particular minority group of, drag, trans people, anything like that, or the LGBTQ community as a whole, really, and we want to make their lives worse. That's really all this is. This law is just a way to ruin people's lives. And, so it's great. Thank you, Ohio, for this terrible thing you're doing. Anyway, I just needed to yap again, get mad again, and I'll see y'all in the next one.